Are you an investor looking to purchase a multifamily home that has tenants in it? Or are you a landlord that's got tenants in your property that aren't paying you? Are you wondering what the heck is going on with the eviction moratorium? Let's have a quick chat about the extension and then the subsequent turnover by the Supreme Court. I'm SandiWarner. I'm a property manager here in Newport, Rhode Island. I manage both long and short-term rentals. I also am the broker owner of Warner Realty Group, and we help investors and homeowners buy and sell both investment properties and residential properties. On August 3rd of 2021, the CDC extended, the CDC is the Centers for Disease Control, and they extended what was called an eviction moratorium nationally. The CDC is the national body that is charged by the Constitution, I think, I forget how they get their power, for managing the public health. The Supreme Court overturned this. It was actually a suit brought by a lot of property managers in Colorado, maybe, got it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, you're right, the CDC has overstepped its authority. They cannot use the authority that they say they have to extend this. The Supreme Court essentially said they didn't make a statement on whether the moratorium was right or wrong. What they said was that the CDC was using a section of the code that was not the correct section and did not give them the authority to do this. So the Supreme Court said, it's all well and good. You can advise Congress that they should do this, but this needs to be an act of Congress. And really, from everything I've read, everyone on both sides of the aisle agreed that was the right thing, that it's really putting a burden on the mom and pop landlords by allowing people to stay in the property without paying rent. There is a large pool of funds that are available, at least here in Rhode Island. It's called Rent Relief Rhode Island, to pay these back rents that are owed up to 18 months. They can go either backwards or forwards. So there's really no need for anyone to not be paying rent due to COVID. There are people who have tenants who, whether they just don't want to, or they don't understand the process, or they don't know what's available to them, have not taken advantage of the rent relief and have not paid their rent. This sort of, the pandemic combined with the housing crisis in place around the country has really created this conflict between landlords and tenants. So currently, once the Supreme Court overturned the CDC on August 26th, it lifted the eviction moratorium. How did that affect Rhode Island? In Rhode Island, the district court, I'm in the second district, which is Newport County. The district court, or actually the state court, the State Bar Association, put out a, what do they call it? An order saying that evictions could be filed. You could go ahead and have your case heard, probably to help alleviate the backlog, but you couldn't get the execution. Well, what's an execution? The execution is the court-issued document that gives the constable, who is the person in the police department, the authority and the right to go and tell these people they must leave the property. Now, in most eviction scenarios, once judgment is given, once the judge says, hey, you tenant, you have a contract, you're supposed to pay that rent, you haven't, you must leave, the tenant then goes ahead and leaves, and you never get to the point of needing the execution. What was happening during the moratorium is you could get judgment, you could have the judge say, you landlord are right, and I am finding for you, but you couldn't get the execution. So people could stay, and you had to wait once the CDC extended it. And when CDC came out on August 3rd and said, we're extending the moratorium, you had to wait until the moratorium's end, which was October 3rd at that point. So as of August 3rd, you had to wait till October 3rd to get your execution. August 26th, Supreme Court says, no, this is not right. This is not the authority that the Supreme Court has. You can't do this. So the Supreme Court of Rhode Island has to release a new set of orders. They release an order that says, okay, we're going to go ahead. If you were sometime between August 3rd and August 26th, you got an execution, you don't have to wait for that anymore. You or your attorney can go to the court and get your execution, which means you can get rid of your tenant that's not paying rent. So once the Supreme Court ruled on August 26th, the Rhode Island Supreme Court had to come out with a new set of rules. The Rhode Island Supreme Court said, okay, we're going to go ahead and get back to business as much as we possibly can under the normal court rules, but we're going to maintain control of the schedule. You can file your evictions, but the court clerk is going to handle the scheduling, and we're going to schedule them, one eviction per hour, and get through that. And then the court's going to control that. This is a little different from the normal procedure because, at least in the second district, evictions were generally heard on Mondays. And everyone sort of piled into the courtroom, and the judge and the clerk worked their way through, trying to help people come to an agreement or making decisions. And then they kind of pushed anything that where everyone was really at loggerheads, they would do a trial. So if the court is maintaining control, the question becomes, and hopefully some attorneys who are watching this might, comment on it. Is it one eviction per hour? Is it they're going to hear 3 people within an hour? Do 4 people get a notice that say, okay, we'll hear you between 9 and 10, and then they go in order? Regardless of how they do it, it's going to be much slower than under normal circumstances. Bear in mind that people work in the court: the judge, the court clerk, the bailiff, the police detectives who are in there doing the criminal court, the court clerks. There are a lot of people in there that also deserve a safe work environment. So they're trying not to overcrowd the courts. That is designed to help keep, everyone who's being heard safe, and everyone who works there safe. In a normal environment, everyone just goes and piles into the gallery of the court, and it looks like church pews. So everyone's sitting right next to each other. So be patient. The courts are working on keeping up with this. As of early September, you can file an eviction and you can get an execution, which gives the constable the authority to go gain possession of your property. If you have any questions about this, give us a call. My name is SandiWarner. I am an attorney here in Rhode Island. My phone number here at the office is 401-236-8685. We are property managers, and we are also realtors here in Rhode Island, and we are happy to help in any way we can. Warner Realty Group, making the complex simple.